Hi guys, today I'm going to give a detailed explanation on Robert Browning's poem The Bishop Orders His Tomb at St. Praxe's Church. In this poem, the speaker, an old bishop on his deathbed, reflects on his life and impending death with a mix of vanity, regret, and resignation, which are also the themes of this poem. Vanity, said the preacher, vanity. The bishop echoes a sentiment from the biblical book of Ecclesiastes, emphasizing the futility and fleeting nature of worldly pursuits. Draw round my bed is Anselm, keeping back, nephews, sons, mine. Ah, God, I know not well. The bishop calls his attendants, possibly his illegitimate sons, referred to as nephews, to gather around his bed. He mentions Anselm, who might be someone important to him but isn't present there. His uncertainty, ah God, I know not, reflects confusion or distress in his final moments. She, men would have to be your mother once. Old Gandalf envied me, so fair she was. The bishop reminisces about a woman who he once loved, who was admired and envied by Gandalf, another cleric. This woman could have been the mother of his sons, highlighting his past relationships and desires. What's done is done, and she is dead beside. Dead long ago, and I am bishop since. He acknowledges that the woman is long dead and that he has since become a bishop, suggesting a passage of time and the permanence of past actions. And as she died, so must we die ourselves, and thence ye may receive the world's a dream. Reflecting on mortality, he concludes that everyone must die, implying that life is transient and perhaps illusory, akin to a dream. These passages explore the themes of mortality, vanity, and the ephemeral nature of life, and worldly accomplishments, revealing the bishop's complex emotions as he faces death. Life, how and what is it? As here I lie in this state chamber, dying by degrees. The bishop contemplates the nature of life while he lies in his luxurious room, slowly approaching death. Hours and long hours in the dead night, I ask, do I live and am I dead? Peace, peace seems all. During the long quiet hours of the night, he questions whether he is still alive or already dead, finding that peace seems to be the predominant feeling. Saint Praxedes ever was the church for peace. He notes that the church of Saint Praxedes, where he was served, he has always been associated with peace, reinforcing the serene feeling he senses. And so, about this tomb of mine, I fought with tooth and nail to save my niche, yea, no. The bishop recalls how he fiercely struggled to secure a prestigious burial place, niche for himself within the church. Old Gandalf cozened me, despite my care. Shrewd was that snatched from out the corner south. He graced his carrion with, God curse the same. Gandalf represents the bishop's rival in life and death. The bishop envies Gandalf for securing a better burial spot within the church, which symbolizes their ongoing competition for status and prestige. He bitterly remembers how Gandalf, through cunning means, managed to secure a better burial spot in the south corner for himself. Despite the bishop's efforts, he curses Gandalf for this clever maneuver, showing his enduring resentment. Yet still my niche is not so cramped but dense. One sees the pulpit, oh the epistle side, and somewhat of the choir, those silent seats. Despite feeling slighted by Gandalf, the bishop consoles himself with the thought that his niche offers a good view of significant parts of the church, including the pulpit and the choir seats. And up into the airy dome where live the angels and sunbeams sure to lurk. He imagines that his tomb will also have a view of the church dome where angels are depicted and where a sunbeam will shine, suggesting a connection to the divine and the eternal. And I shall fill my slab of basalt there, and neath my tabernacle take my rest. The bishop envisions himself resting under tabernacle. Tabernacle is a small decorative shrine or a canopy. On a tabernacle is on the slab of basalt, a durable and prestigious material, symbolizing his desire for a lasting and distinguished legacy. With those 9 columns round me, two and two, the odd one at my feet where Anselm stands. He describes the architectural details of his tomb, including 9 columns arranged in pairs, with one extra column at his feet, possibly where Anselm, a significant figure in his life, is placed. Peach blossom marble all, the rare, the ripe, as fresh poured red wine of a mighty pulse. The bishop elaborates on the exquisite materials to be used for his tomb, comparing the peach blossom marble to fresh poured red wine, emphasizing its richness, rarity, and vitality. The bishop continues to contrast his own envisioned tomb with that of his rival Gandalf, while revealing more about his own ambitions and actions. Old Gandalf, with his paltry onion stone, put me where I may look at him. The bishop disparages Gandalf's tomb, which is made of inferior onion stone, a type of common or less valuable stone, and expresses a desire to be positioned where he can metaphorically look down on Gandalf, reinforcing his sense of superiority and rivalry. True peach, rosy and flawless, how I earned the prize? The bishop boasts about the high quality peach blossom marble for his own tomb, describing it as flawless and something he earned, reflecting his pride and sense of accomplishment. Draw close that conflagration of my church. What then? So much was saved, if aught were missed? Conflagration means to catch fire, actually. So the poet recalls a memory while his church was catching fire, but downplays any losses by focusing on what was saved, suggesting a pragmatic or dismissive attitude toward the incident. My sons, ye would not be my death. Go dig the white grape vineyard where the oil press stood. Drop water gently till the surface sink. The bishop gives instructions to his sons, likely his illegitimate children or close followers, asking them to dig in a specific vineyard and to add water gently until the surface sinks, indicating they are to find something buried there. And if ye find, ah God, I know not, I bade it in store of rotten fig leaves stuffed, and caught it up in a tight olive rail. He trails off, expressing uncertainty or anxiety about what they might find. The mention of rotten fig leaves and an olive rail, a basket or container made from olive branches, suggests hidden valuables or possibly something incriminating or precious that he has hidden away. Some lump, ah God, of lapis lazuli, big as a Jew's head cut off at the nape, blue as a vein over the Madonna's breast. The bishop imagines a large piece of lapis lazuli, a kind of deep blue semi-precious stone, comparing its size to a decapitated head and its color to the blue veins in religious depictions of the Madonna, highlighting its value and beauty. Sons, all have I bequeathed you, villas all, that brave Frascati villa with its bath. He reminds his sons that he has left them significant inheritances, including villas such as the one in Frascati with its luxurious bath, emphasizing its generosity and wealth. So let the blue lump poise between my knees, like God the Father's globe on both his hands, ye worship in the Jesu church so gay. The bishop instructs that the lapis lazuli should be placed between his knees in his tomb, akin to how God the Father holds the globe in religious art. This comparison underscores his desire for a grand and divine like representation. For Gandalf shall not choose but see and burst. He wants Gandalf to be forced to see his magnificent tomb and be filled with envy and frustration, highlighting his comparative nature even in death. Swift as a weaver's shuttle fleet our years, man goeth to the grave, and where is he? Reflecting on the fleeting nature of life, the bishop acknowledges that human existence passes quickly like a weaver's shuttle and ends in the grave, pondering the ultimate fate and legacy of a person. The bishop gives detailed instructions for his tomb, reflecting his preoccupation with his grandeur and aesthetics. His frustration and distrust toward his sons also become apparent. Did I say basalt for my slab, sons? Black 'twas ever antique black I meant. The bishop corrects himself, clarifying that he meant antique black for his tomb slab, emphasizing the importance of the correct material and color. How else shall ye contrast my frieze to come beneath? The bas relief in bronze ye promised me. He explains that the black slab is necessary to provide a contrast for the frieze. Frieze is a sculpted or decorated band beneath it, which he expects to be done in bronze. Those pans and nymphs yet yacht of, and perchance some tripod heiresses with a vase or so. The bishop envisions the frieze depicting classical mythological figures such as Pans and nymphs, and possibly other elements like a tripod and the heiresses, a staff associated with Dionysius. The Saviour at his Sermon on the Mount, Saint Praxed in a glory and one pan ready to twist the nymph's last garment off, and Moses with the tables. He mixes religious and mythological imagery, expecting scenes like Jesus delivering the Sermon on the Mount, Saint Praxed in a glorified state, a playful Pan, and Moses with the 10 Commandments. But I know, yea, mark me not. What do they whisper thee, child of my bowels? Anselm? The bishop realizes his sons are not paying attention to his detailed instructions. He addressed Anselm, possibly one of his sons, wondering what is being whispered to him. Ah, ye hope to revel down my villas, while I gasp, bricked over with beggars' mouldy travertine, which Gandalf from his tomb top chuckles at. The bishop accuses his sons of hoping to inherit and enjoy his villas while he is buried in a cheap, mouldy tomb made of travertine, a material he finds inferior, and imagines Gandalf laughing at him from his own tomb. Nay, boys, ye love me, all of Jasper then. Teach Jasper ye stand placed too, lest I grieve. Despite his frustration, the bishop insists that his tomb should be made of jasper, a precious stone, and reminds his sons of their promise to use this material, appealing to their supposed love for him. My bath must needs be left behind. Alas, one block, pure green as a pistachio nut. There's plenty jasper somewhere in the world. The bishop laments that he has to leave behind the luxurious bath he owns, which is made of a single block of green stone. He reassures himself that there is enough jasper in the world to fulfill his desires for his tomb. And have I not St. Prax's ear to pray horses for ye, and brown Greek manuscripts and mistresses with great smooth marbly limbs? He implies that through his influence and prayers to Saint Praxed, he can secure wealth and pleasures for his sons, including horses, rare manuscripts, and beautiful mistresses. That's if ye curve my epitaph all right. Choice Latin picked phrase, Tully's every word. No gaudy wear like Gandalf's second line. Tully, my masters, Ulpian serves his need. He stresses the importance of having a properly carved epitaph in refined Latin, drawing from the works of Tully, Cicero. He disparages Gandalf's epitaph as gaudy and insufficient. He mentions Ulpian, a lesser known classical figure, suggesting that even Ulpian would serve better than Gandalf's epitaph. And then, how I shall lie through centuries and hear the blessed mutter of the Mass, and see God made and eaten all day long, and feel the steady candle flame, and taste good strong thick stupefying incense smoke. The bishop imagines his eternal rest in the church, where he will be surrounded by the continuous rituals of the Mass, the sight of the Eucharist, the smell of incense, and the steady light of candles, which he finds comforting and reassuring. For as I lie here, hours of the dead night, dying in state and by such slow degrees, I fold my arms as if they clasped a crook, and stretch my feet forth straight as stone can point, and let the bedclothes for a moat cloth drop into great laps and folds of sculptor's work. He describes his current state of dying slowly, imagining himself posed as a statue with his arms folded like a shepherd's crook and his feet stretched out. He envisions his bedclothes falling like a sculpted shroud, blending his current deathbed with his future tomb. And as yon tapers dwindle and strange thoughts grow with a certain humming in my ears, as the candles burn down, the bishop experiences strange intrusive thoughts and a humming sound indicating his weakening state and the approach of death. About the life before I lived this life, and this life too, popes, cardinals, and priests, Saint prays at his Sermon on the Mount. He reflects on the life he believes that he had before his current one and his present life, filled with the company of high-ranking church officials like popes, cardinals, and priests, as well as Saint Praxed himself, who is a significant figure in his mind. Your tall, pale mother with her talking eyes, and new-found agate urns as fresh as day. He remembers the mother of his sons, described as tall and pale with expressive eyes, and mentions newly discovered agate urns which symbolize wealth and beauty. And marbles language Latin, pure, discreet, aha, elusive bad, quoth our friend. No Tully, said I, Ulpian at the best. A bishop emphasizes the importance of having a Latin inscription on his tomb that is pure and elegant. He sarcastically noted a phrase, elucisbat, is a Latin word which means to shine forth or to become clear. It implies something coming into prominence or becoming illuminated. That someone suggested, dismissing it as not worthy of Marcus Tullius Cicero, whose nickname is used here as Tully. Instead, he suggests Ulpian as the best alternative, indicating that Ulpian's style of Latin, though not as celebrated as Cicero's, would still suffice for his needs. Evil and brief had been my pilgrimage. The bishop acknowledges that his life, which he refers to as a pilgrimage, has been both morally flawed and short. All lapis, all, sons, else I give the Pope my villas, will ye ever eat my heart? He demands that his tomb be made entirely of lapis lazuli, a kind of expensive stone, threatening to leave his villas to the Pope if his sons do not comply. He accuses his sons of being heartless and greedy. Ever your eyes were as a lizard's quick, they glitter like your mother's for my soul. The bishop compares his son's eyes to those of lizards, suggesting they are quick and untrustworthy. He notes that their eyes glitter with the same intensity as their mother's, hinting at their shared desire for his wealth and position. The bishop expresses his dissatisfaction and resentment towards his sons and others involved in the construction of his tomb. or yea, would heighten my impoverished frieze, piece out its staff design, and fill my vase with grapes, and add a visor and a term. The bishop criticizes the current state of his frieze, a sculpted or ornamented band, describing it as impoverished and starved in design. He accuses his sons of attempting to embellish it with superficial decorations like grapes, a visor, and a term, a sculpted head or bust on a pedestal. And to the tripod, ye would tie a lynx that in his struggle throws the thyrsus down. He imagines his sons adding a lynx to a tripod, depicting a struggle where the lynx knocks over the thyrsus. Thyrsus, a staff associated with Bacchus, symbolizing chaos or disorder. This suggests his frustration with their artistic choices and perceived disrespect for his wishes. And no more lapis to delight the world. He laments the absence of lapis lazuli, a precious stone, in his tomb, which he believes would enhance its grandeur and leave a lasting impression. Well, go, I bless ye. Fewer tapers there, but in a row, and going turn your backs. Bishop dismisses his sons and those around him, sarcastically giving them his blessing. He requests fewer candles but arranged neatly in a row, and as they depart, he instructs them to turn their backs on him like departing altar ministers. Old Gandalf at me, from his onion stone, as still he envied me, so fair she was. Finally, the bishop refers to Gandalf, his rival, who gazes enviously at him from his own tomb made of inferior onion stone. The bishop reflects on past rivalries and continues to assert his superiority even in death. Robert Browning's poem, The Bishop Orders His Tomb at St. Prax's Church, explores themes of vanity, mortality, and the conflict between worldly ambition and spiritual reflection. Through the bishop's obsessive and detailed instructions for his grand tomb, Browning critiques the bishop's excessive pride and materialism. The bishop's fixation on the opulence of his final resting place reflects his desire for lasting prestige and recognition. Yet underneath lies a profound fear of insignificance and oblivion. As he faces death, the bishop grapples with existential questions about the nature of life and the afterlife, questioning whether his existence has been meaningful or merely a pursuit of earthly vanities. Ultimately, the poem serves as a meditation on the fleeting nature of human life and the futility of seeking immortality through material wealth, suggesting that true peace and fulfillment may only be found through spiritual introspection rather than external adornments.